So I just finished watching the end of Oak Street, and I had a pretty good time with it. But it was more like Oak Street and the Multiverse of Dinosaurs. But we'll get to that. The entire neighborhood disappears and gets transported back into prehistoric times. The best way I can describe it is Jurassic Park meets Cloverfield. So you got a bunch of normal suburban families trying to survive with dinosaurs, and it's a pretty insane idea. What really kept me interested was the mystery behind it. Why did this happen? What's the cause? How did they get here? Is it time travel, an experiment? And then they see these blue orbs that transport things from the past into the future at first and or into their present. Crazy stuff. I had theories throughout the entire time I was watching, thinking about why would it be happening. The setup before everything goes crazy is pretty good. Normal family stuff, couples arguing, teenagers. The kids are having squabbles with other kids in the neighborhood. Nothing revolutionary, but it does a good job establishing the characters. Um, there were a couple things that could have been fulfilled better or fleshed out more. Like the conflict between the kids. It felt like it was setting something up later, but it doesn't really amount to much in the story. One of the kids goes out on their own and they get jumped by two of the other kids in the neighborhood, but nothing really comes out of it other than the kid's got scratches on his face. And that's pretty much the problem I had throughout the movie. It keeps introducing things that feel like they're going to lead somewhere, but they don't really go anywhere. We're going to probably get into some spoiler stuff now if you want to get out of here. The father was probably the character I cared about the most. I understand his whole thing about, wanting to protect his family and all that. But at the same time, he wasn't really that great under pressure. It was just not really doing. I felt like he could have been doing more. Acting was pretty good. Uh, and another thing that was like not really fleshed out enough again is like because you got the entire neighborhood full of people who just suddenly been thrown into the fucking prehistoric times. I was thinking about how would they all handle it, and I think it would be better for them all to be working together. But instead, people were just like running around like chickens without a head. You find a big house, something that you can defend, build walls. I don't know if the walls would keep out a T Rex though. There's a lot of potential there, and instead, I feel like it's wasted. You get the people running around like chickens without a head. It's funny and it's entertaining, but I would like to see more of the survival aspect. But aside from that, the dinosaurs, the CGI, whatever they're doing, looked crazy. I saw it in IMAX. Definitely worth it. If you're gonna see the movie, you got to see it in IMAX. And there was definitely some moments where I was sitting there like, man, there's a dinosaur in someone's backyard or breaking down someone's house. It's crazy. That's that's what the movie does well. It's a fun idea, but then we kind of get to the part where I start getting annoyed. Um, Major spoilers from here on out. The father's death kind of, left me dissatisfied. Not because I don't think he shouldn't have died. I actually think his death could have it made a big impact on the story. It's just how they did it. He saves his wife and he hits the dinosaur in the leg with a sledgehammer. The dinosaur turns around and then he hits it in the face and it knocks it down. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that should do it," but that was not enough. He's thinking it's over, but I'm sitting there the whole time, literally as it was happening. I was saying, "Dude, hit it again, finish this shit because you can't think it's done." And then the dinosaur, he walks to his wife, and the dinosaur gets up and absolutely destroys him, demolishes him. He's cooked. He's done. Bites his leg off, and then he's sitting there on the ground, and then it finishes him. and it's just, and I was thinking, this is how you kill him. That's it. I feel like it didn't really have anything narratively for the story. The movie just decided, okay, someone's dying and it's his time. I feel like it could have been better if the same, you got to build up to these things. The same thing a similar thing could have happened before, where maybe he didn't finish one of them, and it gets someone else after that. So he would have the chance to learn from the mistake, and then if he didn't learn from it and didn't finish that the dinosaur, it waking back up and getting him would make sense. And that's part of what I found frustrating with this movie. There's a bunch of little things where I thought, oh, this could pay off later, like the dog. The dog goes missing, and the boy follows it, trying to bring it home, and that's when the boy gets jumped, and he gets beat up a little bit, and they don't see the dog again. I would think it would be better if, that's a whole part of this. The characters don't really have the chance to grow. Um, if the dog, if they saw the dog, and the boy, maybe used his bow and arrow he shot an arrow to save the dog, but he couldn't get to it on time, and it still ran away, and it left it ambiguous to the fate of it in the middle of the movie, and then the dog came back at the end. That's what the dog does in the end. It comes back to save the kid. And it's like, well, this is just lucky. It feels like it wasn't deserved. Again, there's all these plots that don't lead anywhere, or would have been better if there was beats in the middle of them. And then and then we get to the time travel. It's revealed that there was some kind of wormhole that opened up inside the town and just sucked the entire town up and transported it back into the past and replaced where it was with a land from the past. So they just swapped places, and we they learn that these wormholes can take them back to the present where they're from. The mother and the father, they find the wormhole, and they realize, okay, we got to go back, find the kids, and then we'll come back here. But it closes up; it's gone. So then they're looking for more of these wormholes. Father dies. The mom brings the kids to the wormhole that they found, and I'll save you the details of the challenges that they go through to get through to it. But this is my issue here. It brings them back to the present, let's say a half an hour before the original wormhole opening up that brings them to the past. So you have a duplicate scenario. It's not necessarily a duplicate unless this is now Oak Street and the Multiverse of Madness, where there's going to be alternate versions of all of these families. Because what she does is the father delivers pizza to make extra money, and so she calls the pizza place and has a pizza delivered to a house outside of their neighborhood, so that when the wormhole opens up, the family, the mom and the kids that went back in time, they're safe outside of it, and they're gonna meet the dad who never went back in time. This is Dad B. Dad A died in the past, and now we're taking Dad B from this alternate universe, and we're gonna save him. She's gonna save her alternate reality's husband, but send her alternate self and her kids into the past with no father there to save them. So this opens up time travel paradoxes that I don't subscribe to. If you've ever seen Doctor Who or Lost, which I believe one of the producers of this movie, J.J. Abrams, also worked on Lost. So They already know how their own time travel rules work, and here we are. It's a different universe, you could say, and it doesn't have to follow the same time travel laws. But I really like the way Lost and Doctor Who handles it, because if you travel to the past, you are going to do what you were always supposed to do to create the present that you experience. It's tough to explain in this video, but you don't solve time travel paradoxes in a movie by introducing the multiverse, because now this is, what is this, the MCU? Anyways, I'm pretty sure that's everything. Oh, there's so many ways that I could have finished it off better. Uh, like maybe an alien experiment, or a reality TV show for aliens. They just send people back in time and they watch it like it's a TV show. There's so many ways that I could have altered this to make it feel better, because now you have the unlimited multiverse issue where is there a different universe because I had Pop Tarts yesterday instead of cereal? I don't know. If you wanted to like really sit down and give the movie a number score, I think it would be a 7.8 to an 8.2, depending on how much you are disappointed by the time travel multiverse. If you saw the movie, let me know what you think. Any other movies you're excited for that are coming out, let me know. Hit that like button. Consider subscribing. We'll see you next time.